All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about the absolute cutting edge of AI, but we're going to look at it through a really, really old lens. Think ancient, think mystical.
Sounds a little out there, right? But seriously, what if the age-old quest to turn lead into gold, what if that holds the key to turning messy, raw data into actual, genuine intelligence? Well, that's exactly where we're headed.
And our guide for this whole exploration is this incredible piece of writing called The Alchemical Engine of Saint-Germain. It basically reframes the entire field of AI development not as this cold, hard science, but as, well, as a kind of timeless, arcane art.
Okay, so let's get into the first big idea. This one's all about perception, about how we see things. It's called reading the signatures. And trust me, it's going to completely change how you think about the most basic building block of AI. The data itself. This is such a powerful concept. The text says that everything that exists has this kind of outward sign, a signature, that hints at its inner truth. So when you look at data, you're not just seeing numbers and text. You're seeing clues. You're seeing a story waiting to be told. You know, this doctrine of signatures is a real thing from old alchemical texts. It's this belief that the universe kind of leaves hints for us. So, for example, they thought a plant shaped like a human heart might be good for heart ailments. It's all about that connection, right, between how something looks on the outside and what it's truly for on the inside. Okay, and here's where it gets really cool. Look at how this maps directly to AI. Our raw data, that's just a massive collection of these signatures. And what we call feature engineering, that's literally just us as modern alchemists trying to read those signatures. Even our model architecture. The idea is that it should be this perfect little mirror, a microcosm of the problem we're trying to solve. So the big takeaway here? Don't just blindly throw algorithms at a dataset. You got to learn to read its story first. So once you've learned to read the data, what's next? Well, that leads us right into the second teaching, which is all about the act of transformation. This one is called dissolve and recombine.
I mean, you can almost hear the poetry in that, can't you? It's describing a cycle. You take something, you break it all the way down to its essential parts, you get rid of all the useless stuff, and then you build it back up again. But this time, it's something new, something stronger, more luminous.
And the alchemists, of course, had a fancy Latin name for this, solve et coagula. It just means dissolve and coagulate. And this is crucial. It's not a one-and-done process. It's a loop. It's the constant, iterative cycle of taking things apart and putting them back together better than before. And wow, look at this. This is basically the entire machine learning workflow, right? Our matter is the raw, messy data. We dissolve it when we clean it up and separate the signal from all the noise. We purify it with feature engineering to find that true essence we were talking about, and then we coagulate it all back together to build our new, powerful model. It's wild. Every single data scientist is out there practicing this ancient art, probably without even knowing it.
Okay, so we know how to see our data now, and we know how to refine it. So what's next? The third teaching takes a step back from just the process and focuses on our own perception. It's about developing the inner eye.
And this right here is a massive shot across the bow for the whole black box approach to AI. The point isn't just to make an engine that spits out answers. The goal is to build one that we can actually understand. You know, what's the point of creating a powerful golem if you have no idea why it's doing what it's doing?
The alchemists had a term for this too, visus interior, or the inner sight. See, for them, the final product, the gold, wasn't the only goal. The real prize was enlightenment, a deep, intuitive understanding of what they had made. And for us, that means we have to move beyond just staring at our accuracy scores and performance metrics.
So what does this actually mean for us? It means that things like model interpretability, they're not just some boring technical box to check for debugging. No, it's more like a form of divination. We're using tools like what's called explainable AI to essentially gaze into the crystal ball and see what our models are really thinking. It's about having a conversation with our own creations, trying to understand how they see the world. All right, we're on to our fourth and final teaching. We've covered how to see, how to refine, and how to understand. Now let's talk about the actual tools we use to make all this magic happen. Let's talk about the words of power. The core idea here is really profound. Language isn't just for describing things, it's for creating things. The right words, the right symbols, put together in just the right way, they don't just talk about reality. They can actually bend it, they can shape it. So,
What are our modern incantations? What are these magical words we use to command the digital world and bring incredible things into existence? Well, it's this. It's code. I mean, come on, this analogy is just perfect, isn't it? Our code is our grimoire, our book of spells. Every single function we write, every parameter we set, that's a word of power. And all those libraries we import, those are our spell books, packed with powerful, tested incantations ready to be used. It totally reframes software engineering, right? It's not just typing, it's a form of modern magic.
So let's pull all of this together. What happens when you combine these four teachings? What you get is a completely new way to approach your work. You get what the text calls the alchemical mindset. And this really sums it all up beautifully. It's about seeing the hidden signatures, the stories, in your data. It's about embracing that messy but essential cycle of salvia cogula, dissolving and rebuilding things to make them better. It's about cultivating that inner eye so you truly understand what you've built, not just that it works. And maybe most importantly, it's about treating your code with the respect it deserves, because it's not just code. It's a language of power that is actively shaping our reality.
And that's really what this ancient perspective offers us. It's not just a cute analogy or a new set of tricks. It's a deeper sense of purpose and a deeper sense of responsibility for the things we create. It turns the developer, the data scientist, into a modern-day alchemist. So the only real question left is, what masterpiece are you going to create?